mean, that's the hardest thing in the NBA, being ready to play, staying ready mentally, physically, all those things. So, you know, our staff does a great job of, you know, preparing us and working with us, you know, from the assistant coaches to the strength coaches to keep us in shape. And, you know, you really got to give credit to guys. You know, you see some guys who don't play a lot, and then they come in and they got to, you know, take a big three or something like that. And there's guys who have played their careers like that, and it's, you know, it's tough to do. So, you know, when you're in that position where it's inconsistent, you got to do all the little things and try to be ready. You know, man, they go to him a lot. He's not only does he, you know, go the offensive glass every time. He's, you know, shooting threes. He's posting up. He's, you know, he's the main part of their offense. So, you know, it's a difficult task, and you know, it's a team thing. And I thought we.
Okay, so Celtics win 101-97 over the Minnesota Timberwolves on a Monday night special. Forget Monday Night Football. We got Monday Night NBA TV. National TV game. Kris Humphries has been a ghost for the first half of the year. Pretty much wasn't playing at all. Kelly Olynyk gets hurt. Humphries comes in and has been one of the most reliable, consistent, and effective players for this team. Now, the question... Don't talk yet.
No,
the question's coming.
All right.
So, Steven said before the game that he wasn't sure how he was going to work splitting the minutes. He has really been very vague about that question because it's been coming since Olynyk was getting ready to come back. So before the game, he said that he doesn't know how it's going to work out. It'll kind of be based on matchup, that kind of thing. Now, tonight, the matchup dictated you needed a power guy to go against the power guys on the Wolves. Humphries fits that bill a lot better than Olynyk, and he played really, really well. It was one of his best games of the year.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Kelly Olynyk is not all the way healthy. I mean, he's kind of hobbling on that ankle a little bit.
He said so after the game that he's not fully back.
He did, but also he was a tentative player all along. I mean, you saw him 4 weeks ago. He didn't really have the courage to get into the paint and bang with guys like Pekovic. So, like, putting him in this matchup, even if he were healthy, wouldn't have been the best decision. So, yeah, you go with Kris Humphries. I mean, I would say Humphries is the second best rebounder on the team after Sullinger.
Yes.
Probably the second best post scorer on the team after Sullinger. Bass,
close. Bass has been pretty good this year.
So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a matchup where putting Humphries in there made sense, and Humphries knew how to stay ready and be prepared for this opportunity, and he took it and played well. So that's great. You need to have, you know, depth on your roster to get through the season because there's going to be games like this where guys are slumping, guys are injured. You need, you know, your fourth or fifth big man on the depth chart to step up. This was a good game for Humphries to just step up, play his role. He did well.
And he does what he does. You know, he takes a mid-range shot. He plays really, really intense defense.
He does.
It's successful most of the time.
It is.
I mean, tonight was kind of the kind of guys he wants to guard. He wants to guard guys like him that are big bruisers, that aren't going to jump over you. They're not going to outquick you. It's just a matter of, it's just kind of like a push, just a tug of war here, just pushing to see who's going to get the position on the block. And he won a lot of those matchups tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like the biggest, bruisingest guy in the NBA, but he's good enough to hold his own.
Yeah.
But he also has just kind of this versatility where he can step outside and hit a 13-foot jump shot when he needs to. And it kind of, when you're matched up with a guy like Nikola Pekovic, I mean, it's going to keep him honest because he can't just hang out in the paint and just mill around the rim and protect the rim. He's got to get out there and contest shots. It really just keeps him moving, and it makes the whole defense kind of thrown out of whack.
Yeah, so whatever you can do to take Pekovic off the glass, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, they've got two guys, Love and Pekovic, that are just beastly around the rim, and you've got to move them out. And Humphries did that, and, you know, Jeff Green wasn't making any shots, but just the fact that he was taking them was spacing the floor a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And he got a couple rebounds at the end there. Surprisingly clutch rebounds from Jeff Green.
That's true.
It happens sometimes.
It does happen sometimes.
It's a weird night.
So, yeah, the matchups worked out well for the Celtics. You know, they had Humphries and Sullinger doing their thing, and it worked well for them.
So Olynyk, I mean, he's not fully healthy yet.
No.
But assuming that he kind of gets back to being healthy within the next couple weeks, do you see Olynyk starting to get those kind of, like, when it's not really a matchup, it's really just a free for all for who do you want to play? Because Humphries, Olynyk he made a lot of good plays tonight. He made those great saves in the third or fourth quarter. He had those 2 threes in the game that were pretty clutch.
He had one right out of a timeout where it was a perfect play. He was wide open and he just.
Both of those threes, no one was even on that side of the court for Minnesota, and nobody tried to rush over. Minnesota's three-point defense is pretty terrible.
Well, one of them, he just had so much open space that there was just no point in trying.
Yeah.
He could have stood there for 5 seconds, spared his feet. looked at the rim, squared his feet again. I mean, it was just, you know.
But in the NBA, you still try, because just the fact that there's someone rushing at you, even if you know that they're not going to get to you in time, you still have to think about it. It still distracts the shooter.
You don't want to look bad, right? You want to put up a fight for the optics of it.
Exactly. But it does make a difference in not even trying, because they're going to take their time. They're going to get their elbow in and everything. But Olynyk has shown that he's going to try to be a playmaker by working hard. But he's not a guy that you could put in there to accomplish like a specific task, and you know he's going to go out there and do it. Well, it looks like with Humphries, you need him to go out there and get you 6 rebounds. You need him to go out there and wall off an opposing big. You need him to go out there and run some pick and pop, or just kind of get some loose ball shots off. Yeah. You know he's going to go out there and do it.
That's all true, and yeah, the only thing Olynyk can do is space the floor. Like that's his only elite NBA skill right now. He hasn't developed anything else yet, and it's going to take him time. I mean, this is a rebuilding-ish team, 4th place in the East notwithstanding, so it's okay that Olynyk is still developing his skills, and Stellinger's still developing his skills, and all these guys are kind of still learning how to play the game at the pro level. But yeah, Olynyk's going to get there, and I don't think he's like behind schedule or anything. We're only a month and a half in, and he's coming along.
Yeah. Sort of.
I mean, he was hurt. What do you want from him? Come on.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He clearly needs time to adjust to the physicality of the NBA. That's going to be a year-long process for him. He's a skinny, finesse guy.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem for him.
Sure.
All right. Well, boxing and balling coming up. This is the Garden Report on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio.
Well, expectations. I really focus on the team and what we're doing as a team. So, personally, it doesn't really matter. I think everyone on this team wants to play, 38 minutes, get the ball every time, shoot 20 shots. I mean, that's the way the NBA is, and that's the way, if people had the choice, yeah, they'd choose that. But we got to fit into what we're doing and try to help the team anyway in our role. So we're playing well right now, and we're going to try to keep it going.